I'm really excited to be here and share our work with you. I really wish I had one of my horses up here with me, but I think he might break the stage. He's pretty large. And then I thought maybe we could take him out back into the lawn and we could actually do a sensory work demonstration for you. But instead, we're only 25 miles from here. You'll have to come down and visit us and meet our equine team for yourself. As I said, we're located in Carbondale, Colorado, and we implement the Horseboy method and the movement method. And it's the only equine therapy that really works for the brain and the nervous system. Horseboy was devised by autists and neuroscientists in Europe and the USA. There are now tens of thousands of families who benefit from the Horseboy method, and we are in 20 countries. When I started this 3 years ago, we were in 7. So it's super exciting. We are the first location in Colorado, and we just expanded to the United States Air Force Academy Equestrian Center. And guess what? Our program works for veterans with PTSD as well as folks with autism. So we're really excited that's just kicked off there this year. And we help not only autism, but ADD, ADHD, anything really on the neuro-sensory issue. The whole premise of this is based on a father who had a severely autistic son and realized that when he put his son on the back of a horse, his son stopped having the autistic temper tantrums. So we're going to take a little look at an excerpt from the movie. Chris, if you could play this now. Thank you.
In April 2004, my son Rowan was diagnosed with autism. The feeling was like being hit across the face with a baseball bat. Our lives became clogged under a mountain of conflicting information on the disorder. We tried everything. He didn't speak to us. One day, he ran away from me and ran right up to a horse called Betsy. The moment I put Rowan on Betsy's back, he began to speak.
He's a nice horse.
As Rowan began to open up to me for the first time, a light bulb went on in my head. Was there a place on Earth that combined healing with horses? Mongolia. This is a story about how, as a family, we did something crazy. How we ended up going halfway across the world in search of a miracle.
I think it wasn't exactly Ron's vision of Mongolia.
We're going to go up a several thousand-foot mountain and perform a 4-hour ritual with shamans. Isn't that what all families do? Sometimes I think he's like leaping forward, and sometimes it's like he's totally regressing. I couldn't help wondering, did I really have his best interest at heart here?
I don't know how useful it is to think of us as normal and Rowan as the sick one.
And then something happened. Rowan began laughing, giggling. We were together again as a family. His autism forced me to listen to what interested him above all else. We're onto something good here.
So now you have a sense how this journey started. After this journey, Rupert thought to himself, well, if this works for my son, and there's so many children being diagnosed with autism, could it work for other children? So he decided that he would chat with some folks who are on the autism spectrum. And one of the most famous people on the autism spectrum is Dr. Temple Grandin. I'm sure many of you have heard of Temple. She is a professor in animal science at CSU. And if you've ever hung out with Temple, she's pretty autistic, but she has an amazing public persona. So Rupert consulted with her, also having the experience with his own son, and she said there were a couple things you should do. Number one is follow the child. Follow them intellectually, follow them emotionally, follow them physically. So that means if they're a runner, you are running with them. And do it in nature and let them move. So I wanted to pose a question to the group and ask you, what's your single most important educational experience? And I know that's a big question, and I think Scott could answer that pretty easily with what he just showed us. Anybody have anything they'd like to share?
The French chat at the County Library.
Say that again, Mary?
French chat over at
The chat, okay, the French chat at the Pickens County Library. I know for me, if I look back, it's a lot of experiential moments, and it's not sitting behind a desk having a teacher talking to you. Last year, I had an interesting experience while we were delivering services to veterans with PTSD. And we had an art therapist on site, and she opened up what we were doing to the volunteers on the site. And I'm somebody who likes to plan and control, and I'm thinking, wow, I'm feeling moved to do this. And it was a moment where I felt like I had a breakthrough of not following a plan and realized that something really good could come out of it. So what I want to do is, before I get into the theory of Horseboy, is have a little fun with everybody. So what I'd like to do is ask you to all stand up if you are able. Okay, and now we're gonna just jog in place a little bit. I was gonna do 20 seconds, maybe we'll just do 10. We're gonna get the energy moving. I don't have the fun music that Gina had, but maybe I should have Gina singing with me up here. Okay, now we can stop. And what I'd like to do, usually I divide the room in half and have you split to either side, but just because we have some space constraints, we're gonna make some adjustments here. So, find a partner, your neighbor. It doesn't need to be anybody you know. Okay. And now what I'd like you to do is just back up a couple steps from each other. And now I'm going to teach you something while you are moving, okay? So the first thing you're gonna do, you're gonna walk towards your partner and you're going to give them a high five. Awesome, great job. Okay, now you're gonna walk towards your partner, give them a high five, and clap. Okay? And now you're gonna back up, and we're gonna start learning a new song. Some of you might know this, I don't know, and I cannot sing, so forgive me for my voice here. But as you're walking, I'm gonna shout out the first phrase of the song. You're gonna do your clap, high five, and then you're going to back up and repeat that phrase of the song to me. And we're gonna go through the song, okay? Bear with me. All right, so walk towards each other, and here is the song. 50 nifty United States. Okay, now go forward. From 13 original colonies. This is awesome. Okay, 50 nifty stars in the flag. that billow so beautifully in the breeze. Okay, you ready to take it from the top? Let's try. Ready? And keep moving. We're gonna go forward and back. Ready? 50 nifty United States from the 13 original colonies. 50 nifty stars in the flag that billows so beautifully in the breeze. Yay! Okay, now I want everybody to look at each other. Do you see so many smiles? Yes. And do you see open body language? People relaxing. Okay. So now you are ready to learn. Okay. So now you can sit down. You can sit down. And we'll take a look quickly here at the neuroscience and how this works. And all you scientists here will understand this in much greater detail than I do. I just know that I know this works. So folks on the autism spectrum, Temple tells us, have really overactive amygdalas. And they're flooded with cortisol. So you saw Rowan have that temper tantrum. That is super common in kids with autism. And so what's triggering that? They, having this overactive amygdala, they live in a constant state of stress with a brain flooded with cortisol. So what we're trying to do is reverse that. And we reverse that through movement. And I know that in neuroscience, cortisol, it's very much needed to help us deal with those flight, stressful situations, but too much of it is not good and can cause damage to the brain. And so what we're trying to do with our process is help reverse that. So there's that fun thing that our brain does by rebuilding itself, neuroplasticity. And we, part of what I want to impart to you is that the solution is not totally in the brain, but rather it's the brain working with the body and the psoas muscle. So the psoas muscle really tenses up when you are triggered. And you're in that fight or flight. Scott was talking about a tiger coming after you. We talk about a rhinoceros coming through the wall. For somebody with autism, that can be bad lighting, it can be fluorescent lighting, it can be industrial noise, it can be being too cold, it can be being too hot. There are any number of things that can set them off. And what we're trying to do is relax the psoas muscle. And that's what we just did with you with the fun little song and learning. So the antidote to cortisol is that happy hormone called oxytocin. And all we are about at Smiling Goat Ranch and the Horseboy method is producing oxytocin. And there are so many ways to do this. You can do it by rocking, you can do it by running, you can do it by dancing, you can do it by jogging. And one of the greatest places to do it is from the back of a cantering horse. So I want to show you a very quick clip here of, I have a great volunteer corps, and in this particular clip, there's a group of enthusiastic teenagers, and we're working with a child who's nonverbal, and we're gonna do a math problem with him. And his mom came to us and said, he doesn't understand double-digit math. So we break it down, and you'll hear him say 4 + 3 is 7 + 10, and then we'll go on to the canter. Whoops. Chris, could you?
4 + 3 = 40, 50, take it, Jenny.
Yes! 17! Yay! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17!
Yay. Yeah. It's pretty exciting, pretty exciting. Then I want to show you another quick clip. And this is a child that's too big for us to back ride in the saddle with, so we're long lining him. And he is also nonverbal. And this particular clip went viral in our community, and you will see why. Go ahead, Chris. So that's a lot of oxytocin. Yeah. Okay, I don't have a lot of time left because there's another clip I want to get to too, but I'm quickly going to go through sensory work, and that is where we use body-to-body contact, human to horse. We have 3 different positions we put people in, and you'll see that top photo. That is a veteran, and she's doing what we call the butt hug. And some veterans get up there and actually fall asleep. Anybody want to guess what our record is for how long somebody stayed asleep on the back of our horse? Any guesses? Hour? Somebody said an hour. Hour and a half. 2 hours. And I had a horse that loved it too, and it was amazing. And the veterans get off of the horse and they have these incredible emotional releases. Some are moved to tears. It's really, really powerful. So I'm going to skip right over to, you're invited to come down and see us anytime. Give us a call. Tomorrow we have play dates starting at 9 a.m. And it's going to be a multi-family play date. On July 29th, we actually have a group of veterans coming, and we'll put them through sensory work and we'll ride with them. And we have a table outside, so come say hi. And I want to play this clip before I have to wrap up. It's some testimonials from some of the veterans who've come down to work with us.
I've never done equine therapy, but it was really amazing to be able to bond with the horses and be able to draw our warrior symbol on them and how we felt, and so we had a really good time with the horses.
I'm overwhelmed by the support that I found here. I came down here to the Smiling Goat Ranch, and they put us in a big old circle, and I was a little bit hesitant and reluctant at first, but after we got through introductions and realized that every other person I didn't recognize was a volunteer there to help me and my fellow vets, it was reassuring and humbling a little bit to realize that there were so many people out there willing to help us.
Thank you.